Hello again, this is Shankar Poncelet talking to you about how to plan for a good website. So let me look at my notes here. There's a lot to cover, and first we will talk about why would you even want to plan for a website. Well, I think we should work with an analogy here. I think that's something that most people can relate to. Say you want to build a house. You would certainly not go to the first contractor you know and say, hey, can you build me a house? I need it ready by next Monday. And he will say, sure, just let me know where you want it and you'll have it there. It's going to take about a week and this is the price. I think you would agree that this is not how it goes. And it is very similar with a website. Well, you can do it. You can just buy a very cheap website, throw on some contact, some content, some images, some text, and it's just there. That's probably comparable to buying a modular home and just put it on a camping ground. While that is definitely a solution for some people, and you may be in that case that that's all you need, that's perfectly fine. But if your website should represent you or your business to the world, you want to think about it. You want to plan it out. So going back to the house analogy, what the contractor will probably ask you is, what material do you want me to use? How many rooms do you want to have? How many floor levels? Where do you want to have the bathroom? Do you want to have a garage? And all of these questions need to be answered. And of course, according to what you need, it's gonna be a different price, right? Because if you just need a small house without a garage, let's say 2 bedrooms and the bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, that's going to be a lot different of a price than when you need a home to maybe host multiple families. You never know. So this is something that you need to realize, that if you want to get a good website that represents your business, you need to plan it out, and you need to know that there cannot just be a rate that will just cover all the cases. I've put together a package that I think will probably suit most small businesses. But you may not be in that case. You may be in need for a small personal website, or your business is mid-sized, maybe your business is really big, and you need a different website than just a small business would need. So what happens if you don't plan before you start building? Say someone says, okay, I'm gonna have your website ready by, again, next Monday or something, in 2 weeks. Well, what will happen is that that person will build your website based on assumptions. He or she will think, well, he probably needs a calendar. He probably wants a blog post, a blog. He probably wants a contact form and wants it to say this and that. He probably wants it to be a WordPress site. He probably wants people to be able to see it on a mobile device. So the web professional will make assumptions and start acting on those assumptions. And then you will come and say, wait, what? That's not what I wanted. I don't need this, but instead I'd rather have this feature. And he or she will say, well, if that is the case, I need to undo all my work, do some research on how I should do what you want, and then apply it. And what happens is deadlines cannot be met anymore, and the cost of the project keeps rising and rising, and you don't get what you want. So that is the reason why it is important, it is of paramount importance to plan ahead. A lot of beginners will start building your website right away. They will say, yeah, it's going to be there in a week. And that is really wrong. That is a sign that you are dealing with a person who is not a professional. A website, there needs to be a planning phase. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating the so-called waterfall management method where everything is detailed very specifically and everything is planned out up to the last detail. No. But there needs to be a general idea where you should be heading, where the project should be going, and what is the main purpose that the project needs to fulfill. What are the goals of your website? How can you later measure whether you have successfully reached your goals? This is why you need to plan. I will talk a little bit more in future videos about how to plan your website. But I want you to understand now, for good, that planning is an important step. It's gonna make your project more expensive, because if you hire a web professional who spends 1 or 2 weeks just on planning, that is gonna cost time. And during that week, he or she will not be able to start building your website. No. It's all gonna be planned information. And trust me, it will benefit you in the long run. You spend a little bit of money on planning and you save a lot of time and money in the future. I guarantee you that will happen.